Ramirez, your host of Stand Out and Grow. I want to help your business stand out, survive, succeed, and grow. Building your business is really, really hard. And knowing what marketing and advertising tools you need to help you become successful is extremely confusing. After 30 years of working with thousands of businesses, I am here to help you make good business decisions. I want to help you understand the programs that are available to you so that you can stand out, survive, succeed, and grow. So let's get started.
Hey there, this is Kat. And thank you for joining me on my Stand Out and Grow podcast. Today, I have a very special guest that I feel like you probably will enjoy hearing from. Her name is Jaime Morocco, and she is a body transformation coach. And I'm excited to hear what she has for us because she has built a very successful business and she has a lot of things she wants to share with you in case you're in a situation where you also need some help growing your business and hearing her story, but also maybe there's a body transformation that you've been wondering about or thinking about or hoping to get. So let me bring out Jaime. Hey, Jaime.
Hi, Kat. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. Where are you calling in from?
I'm in Miami, sunny Miami, Florida.
Nice. That's awesome. Awesome. I know you guys have had a lot of sweltering heat.
Sweltering, but yes, we live on the beach, so luckily we get a little bit of a breeze from the ocean. So.
Oh, good. So just give my audience, and a lot of the people that are typically tuning in are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners, or typically independent consultants. So just give us a little background about, what you do and how you got started.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because my dad's an entrepreneur and he always said, like, if you have control of your business, you can control how much you make, you can be your own boss. I just really loved that freedom aspect. And I loved just having a greater drive and mission. So I actually went to college and grad school for entrepreneurship. So I always kind of knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And when I was 18 years old, I lost a lot of weight and it really changed my life. And I became a personal trainer and I started working with clients and I kind of worked my way up the ranks. I was living in Boston at the time at a private studio and I was managing it. And I really love just seeing and helping people change their lives. So I kind of put that in my back pocket and I was like, okay, I'm probably going to start something in the fitness space. I then ended up working out in Silicon Valley in the tech industry for a few years. And, the job market there is really up and down. You never know what you're going to get. And I got laid off. And my boyfriend, who's now my husband, he said to me, you should start that online fitness business that you've been talking about. Because I had talked to him, maybe I could do something online. So I started my business and then I found another job in tech. So I was kind of doing both for a while. And then in 2016, I decided to go all in on my business and really, I call it like having no plan B mindset. Like I was going to figure out how to make this work. So my husband, he was also about to quit his job and start his own business. So, we had no money. We didn't know what we were going to do. So we actually ended up moving in with my parents back in Boston. And we thought it was going to be for 3 months and it was for 3 years.
Wow.
But in the grind and we did the work and, built I consider successful companies. And I'm here to share, just that journey and give people hopefully some nuggets and inspiration especially if they're early on in theirs.
Well, I think just from your story alone, there's a lot of learning there. And I'm just going to pick at them and then you can, expand on them further or, make your comments toward them. I love the fact that your father encouraged you to be an entrepreneur. When I talk to a lot of business owners, and most of the business owners that I know haphazardly become an entrepreneur because they got pushed out of the system. Similar to you, like they got laid off, they got pushed out of the system. Something happened in their career that was out of their control, right? Out of their control. They were performing well. They did great, but the system pushed them out somehow, or their mindset, because they were like, I can't do this again and not know, where my next paycheck is going to be, because there is there's no guarantees in life at all. And so I love that part of it, that you were really nurtured and groomed to become an entrepreneur, because, for my era, it was more of do the corporate ladder, drink the Kool-Aid, work hard and, climb up the top of that ladder as far as you can. And it was a rude awakening for me when I, hit the glass ceiling and had to determine, well, I guess I'm just going to start my own thing so I can control my own destiny. So I love that, Jaime. That's to me, that's very, very cool that, you were encouraged to, have that dream and really go after it,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The other part of that story that I absolutely love is that you guys took a risk. You both took a risk. You knew you had to make some sacrifices in order to take those risks. And it's paid off for you. That's amazing.
Thank you. I feel like as long as you don't give up, like it's going to figure itself out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that because I love the fact that you guys thought it was going to be 3 months and it ended up in 3 years, but you went with the flow and you made it happen, right?
Absolutely. We did. We just knew that, we were making sacrifices and we just believed that one day it was all going to make sense.
Okay. So what do you want to start with first? Do you want to talk about your body transformation coaching first, or how you got there? I mean, you tell me.
Ooh, we can talk about how I got there first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell us how you got to where you felt like now I'm success. You know what I mean? Like you felt that, wow, we figured it out.
Like from a business standpoint?
Yes.
Yeah. For the first 3 years, I started my online business in 2015. Obviously, the online space was like really different back then. And I hired a great coach. I was very lucky to find one, and she really helped me kind of get things going. But I had a hard time finding my rhythm because I love like high touch one-to-one coaching. And I was really having a hard time figuring out like a brand and how to scale and like, how does everything work? And I think a lot of times, hindsight is always 2020. And looking back, I'm like, wow, I spent a lot of time on things that just, I don't feel like were necessary, like worried about brand colors and things like this. Of course, that stuff is fun, but I really think that I spent a lot of time spinning my wheels. And then things clicked for me. I would say my first successful year in business was 2019. And for me, my big milestone that I was after is like that first 5-figure month, like that first 10K month. And I remember I hit that in December of 2018. So right before 2019. And then after that, it was like, by April, I had 3.5x that. And I was just like going. And I think what clicked for me was, number one, I felt excited about my business in a way that I never have. And I noticed that, of course, I'm still learning every day. There's a new level, all the time. There's like, we're climbing a mountain with no peak here. But for me, like I've noticed in my business, whenever I'm really excited about something, it's always successful. So I was I got reinvigorated about my business. I came up with the name for my program, which is Dream Body, Dream Life. Like I really put more thought and intentionality behind the client onboarding process, just putting energy and having it come from like a very heart-centered and passionate place, I think was something that was so important to me. And then I just started, posting more content on Instagram and engaging more and making relationships. And then actually like pitching a program, because you got to sell in order to grow a business. And then after that, I mean, we had our first like multiple six-figure year in 2019, which was 4.5x what it was the year before. And then 2020 was like even more. And then, since then it's just like, it's really just, I feel very grateful that I never gave up, and I'm still at it, and I still will be. But I'm definitely not an overnight success story, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
And how long now have you been in business?
Since 2015, so like 8 years.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's fantastic. I mean, because, the big thing is, I think a lot of people don't understand the statistics on failure rate. And, and I'm always happy to share because it's not so much spoken about, people do need to hear about it, So if you're thinking of starting a business, or you are starting a business, or you're newly into a business, 50% of businesses fail in the first year and 95% within 5 years. And a lot of times that failure rate is due to, and just to allude on something you said, Jaime, is bad management, not planning, not focus on the right priorities, and maybe not even like charging correctly, or, discounting, so discounting also affects people's business, because if you can't make enough money to pay for everything that you're doing, including like your resources, your people, and tools, then you're going to kill your business, And I love the fact that you mentioned how you were focused in the beginning on branding and color, and it's all cute and it's all fun, but you had to refocus and think about what's going to move the dial, because that is the most important part for your business. What is going to move the dial? Yeah, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. Okay. So let's talk about then what it is exactly that you're doing with the body transformation program.
Yeah. So, I was really surprised, to learn I've been coaching people for nearly 15 years, over 15 years, actually. And what's really surprising to me, the weight loss industry in the United States is really, there's a lot of things that confuse people and a lot of gimmicks, right? Yeah. And actually 97% of people who lose weight gain it back. So I'm part of the very small percentage, 3% of people that keep it off. And that's really my mission for the people that I work with, is that I coach on a permanent transformation. So I'm not in the business of let's get you there the fastest, because that never works. I'm in the business of let me get you there forever. And I've developed a framework that, honors the science behind what happens when the body loses fat, and then how do you rebuild metabolism, and then how do you trust yourself to maintain it, in an intuitive way. I've built this framework that is meant to set somebody up for a permanent transformation. And I focus a lot on, yes, the science, but also really like the mindset, and like what stories are you telling yourself to be true about your body and about food and about your body's ability to lose weight. Like what's the mindset there? What's the energy there? And then what do you actually want to be true instead? So it's a really comprehensive program. Reason being is because you can't just expect to change your physical body and know how to if you haven't done the internal work, you're not going to know how to trust yourself to keep it. Right.
Right.
So it's really the marriage of the aesthetic piece as well as the, internal piece, the thoughts, feelings, beliefs, who you are, your identity. That's where you get a true transformation. So,
okay. And that's fantastic. I think probably the big thing for entrepreneurs or people that are watching this is when people start a business, one of the biggest things that happens is neglect to your own personal body, your own personal health, your own personal livelihood, your own personal well-being. I mean, so there's a lot of neglect because they feel like they have to put their baby, which is their business, first and foremost, and they then now build their life around it. And it certainly was true for me, for sure, because when I first started my first business, I was 100% in my business, of my business. And I, ate unhealthy. I gained weight. I drank, and it was just one of those things where if you're not tuned in and you're not aware, you're going to make a lot of these awful habits and bad mistakes, So I totally get what you're saying, Jaime. I think that what you're doing is a wonderful thing, because then it does have as you have stated in one of your bullet points, it does have an effect on your business, right? It has an effect on your life and your business. Do you want to elaborate a little on how taking care of your body can really help you move things in the right direction?
Yeah, of course. So I think in a lot of different ways. And I find this is especially true with women, that many women view the world through the lens of how they feel about their body. So if they're not feeling comfortable in their body, and, especially a female entrepreneur, she's probably not going to want to get on TV shows or do interviews or photo shoots, things that are literally preventing her from growing her brand and her business, her impact and, income. Right. So looking at it from just a purely how confident do you feel? And it's not about fitting a certain aesthetic. It's all about what feels, the best for the individual person. But that will absolutely really just stall progress if somebody is unable to, feel confident and good in their bodies. So that's one way. And then another way is just when you feel good about yourself, you're more productive because you don't have the mind chatter of, what am I going to eat? Is this good? Is this bad? Why do I feel so, uncomfortable in my pants? Oh my God, I feel so guilty. As entrepreneurs, mental capital is the most important capital that we have, more important than money, because if we don't have our mental capital, then there is no way to make money. So essentially, when entrepreneurs are so focused on their body and food and all of this, they're not able to access their mental capital in a way that's most productive. And that's another way that their business or their body, the way they feel about it can hold them back. And then of course, if you're not active and you're not eating well, that's going to impact how you feel. You're going to be slow and sluggish, and that will impact creativity, productivity, and, it's just not going to help.
Okay. And those are some great thoughts in regards to when you're an entrepreneur, you're, in that mindset or lack of mindset where you have the ability to help yourself or identify that there is a need for help. Because I agree with you, because the worse you feel about yourself, the worse that you're going to be as a benefit to your own business, and to your clients, for that matter too, because, you're going to probably portray how you feel, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're feeling kind of yucky, I don't think you're going to, talk like you're feeling like you're excited and happy, right?
Yes.
So what is, can you give us some success stories or, some, case studies or people that you've worked with and you've seen a big difference?
Yeah. One of my very first online clients, her name is Shayna, and she found me online, I think 7 or 8 years ago. And she lost 80 pounds. She's a mom of 2. And then she actually ended up becoming a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. And now she works for me on my team.
Oh,
so,
nice.
That feels so special to me because to see, obviously she did the work, but she credits a lot of what, a lot of what I taught her to her success. And just to have that full circle moment is so amazing for me. And I'm so grateful that she trusted me with that. So that's one of my, just having somebody on the team, I think is one of the best case studies, right? That you could share. So.
Oh no, that's fantastic. And you kind of touched on that you have this program, this new program, the Dream Body, Dream Life program. So can you kind of give us more, kind of allude us into what that is all about, or give us a little teaser?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a highly customizable body transformation program. And I work primarily with women. And essentially what we do is I teach clients how to make their own food choices and learn the science of fat loss and the science of body recomposition so that you can learn how to make any food work for you. Like you can make a piece of chocolate cake work for your goals just as much as a salad. It's all about the context. So I teach people how to achieve their body transformation goals while also empowering them with food so that they're not relying on a meal plan. They understand how to make their own choices.
Yep.
And then I take them through my framework, which includes that 3-step process I talked about earlier to help ensure that the weight loss, that they're achieving is actually permanent. So we work with clients in 6-month timeframes, and it's a very, very high touch program. We check in every week, but then there's 24/7 support when people need it. So it's really meant, again, to help people not just change their outside like aesthetics, but also really like their identity, because my dad is in the psychology business. And one thing that he always told me that really stuck with me in my weight loss practice is that people will always act in accordance with their identity, which is who they think they are, right?
Yep.
So if somebody loses 50 pounds, but they still identify as somebody who's, overweight, then not going to happen. In the same way that if an entrepreneur is a millionaire and they still identify as somebody who's broke, they're going to blow all their money, right?
I agree.
So that like identity and mindset work is just like so foundational, and that's really where our program shines.
I agree. And I love that you point that out, because that does have a big factor. And again, it's mindset. My husband and I went on vacation, I don't know, 2 months ago, I can't even remember. And the cool thing about the vacation is I personally don't like bathing suits because, sometimes you feel like they don't fit right, or you don't want to show this part of your body or whatever. It's the most revealing, right? The most revealing. Mm-hmm. And so when we're on the various beaches at the various resorts, I'm just so enamored by the women that are so confident in their swimwear. They're not perfect, but they're so confident. And it is just, to me, like, I was just inspired by that. I'm like, oh my God, if that woman can be so confident in her skin and her body, I should be too, because, I don't look like, that heavy, but you know what I mean? Like, and it's a kind of a comparative thing, but it was encouraging, and it was great, because to me, it is a mindset. Yeah. We beat ourselves up. We're probably our worst judge, right? We're the worst judge. We beat ourselves up, and it is for a woman, it is very emotional. Yeah. It is extremely, and we just like rip ourselves to shreds. And I don't know why we do that.
We can break the societal programming that we grew up with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Because we're told to look like a Barbie doll. We're told to look, like this or like that. And if we don't, then we feel awkward. And so if that's what we're being told, then I would say probably 95% of the women feel awkward because not everybody looks like a Barbie doll.
Exactly. It's not possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we want to look like different shapes and bodies and sizes, because that's the way the universe was made, because all men are different, And sometimes I'm so jealous. I wish sometimes I could think like a man and just like not care.
Easy for them.
Yeah, exactly. It is easy for them. Okay. So the program, how long does it typically last? Is this like a month, a year, just as someone's thinking about, the program that you have?
Yeah. So since I really am in the business of permanent transformation, we work with clients in 6 months. I call them 6-month sprints.
Okay. Yep.
And we reevaluate on a high level every 6 months.
Yep. And I love that, because, just like with anything, if you're committed to anything, I don't care if it's real estate investments, if it's your weight, it's your image, if your self-esteem, your mental health, whatever, it's not going to be fixed overnight. You're not going to see results overnight. And it is a commitment. It's a commitment because you're changing a mindset.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time and energy and effort. And it takes time to work at it too, because, sometimes you fall off the horse. Sometimes you give up. Right. And it takes someone like Jaime or a coach to get you back on so that you're on track. And I think that's awesome, because it's not about the one and done and you're going to see this magic bullet. And what are your thoughts on this Oprenza thing, this Oprenza hype? And to me, it's like the latest fad, you know?
I mean, look, like not only are the side effects just starting to come to light, which includes stomach paralysis and perhaps thyroid cancer, and not only is the weight regain nearly 100% in some of the clinical studies, but also like you have to consider the fact that when somebody's putting on weight that they don't want, there's a reason for that. So unless they address like the mental and emotional side, they're not going to understand how to regulate their emotions, right? Because the weight is just a manifestation of emotions that haven't been dealt with. And sure, you can do an injection and like drop a bunch of weight, but you're going to have to face those emotions again. You know, what happens? You turn to alcohol, you turn to shopping, other things, right? So I'm not a fan because I believe that there are no shortcuts. And I believe that, you know, if you want a true and lasting change, you have to put in the reps like everybody else. Yeah.
And that's awesome. And, you know, I always equate this to like success when I talk to entrepreneurs or anything else, you know, all the good stuff in life takes a lot of work. It takes time, energy, and hard work. Nothing in life that is wonderful is easy. Nothing. You have to work at it. And it's for a reason, because not everybody's going to be successful. Not everybody's going to, you know, have the results that everybody like should have. It's the people that are committed, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I totally agree with you on that in that regard. Okay. What else do you want to tell us about your business and the programs that you have?
I would just say that if anybody wants to reach out, feel free to follow me on Instagram or, you know, Facebook. My name is Jaime Morocco. And I would, you know, love to have you in my world. I have a lot of free content and things like this that I put out, and feel free to reach out anytime.
Okay. And then if someone does want to get a hold of you.
Just send me a message on Instagram. That's the easiest way.
And I did pop up your website. Is this the correct
website?
One?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And then you also have a special for anybody that's tuning in or will tune in later. And you want to talk about the special that you have?
Of course. I have a free masterclass called the 3 Steps to Permanent Weight Release. And that walks you through the actual science and kind of mindset behind what it takes to go through a permanent body transformation process. So my hope in sharing that, you know, I've been at this for nearly 2 decades. I have a very deep understanding of science and you know, the knowledge and experience. And I really wanted to distill that down into, you know, less than 1 hour masterclass so that it didn't take people years and lots of science articles and trial and error like it took me. So feel free to check that out and see if it lands. Okay, perfect. And I did drop the link in the comments. So I will also go back and drop it into those posts. You have done a lot, and you also have been featured in some high level PR that I should mention so that people know you're the real deal. So Jaime's been featured in Pop Sugar, Insider, Univision, and Refinery 29. So some really credible trades there. And if you have any questions, certainly reach out to her. I feel like you're in great hands with Jaime. And I, you know, the best part is you're a byproduct of your own product, right? You created this because of your own transformation, and you believe in it so much that you repackaged it for other people, knowing that they can benefit from it. And I think that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. Thank you for being on the show, Jaime. Thanks so much for having me, Kat.
Absolutely. I wish you so much success. Don't be a stranger. We have Linda said hello. And then we had Marian who said healthy insights. I like to make sure we give our shout outs to some of our comments. Timothy, I'm sure that there'll be more. totally get messages after the fact. So if we do, I will tag you, Jaime. That way you can see those messages when they come out. Okay. Awesome. Well, until I will talk to you soon, Jaime. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. And thank you for joining me in the Stand Out and Grow podcast. I hope that you gained some insight today in regards to your transformation. If you're thinking of having a transformation or you're not sure, just reach out to Jaime. I think it is worth every second to have a dialogue with her. Or if you're just intrigued about how she grew her business, I'm sure she will chat with you about that, because that is incredible to have that growth that she had and be able to sustain and grow and continue to grow, which I love. So until next time, you got that.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Stand Out and Grow. Check out all the notes and links at www.standoutandgrow.com. I am so thankful to you for helping this show continue to grow. I want to keep producing content that you want to hear, so please leave me some feedback. I look forward to bringing you more resources and information to help your business stand out and grow. Please follow us on social media and make sure you follow this podcast so you can learn more about helping your business stand out, survive, succeed, and grow. Until next time, you got this. adBidtise helps businesses stand out and grow with affordable advertising options. We will help you make good business decisions so you can save money and not just throw it against the wall to see if it sticks. Get your free strategic advertising analysis today so you can see the opportunities to stand out and grow your business. Visit www.standoutandgrow.com offers page to learn more.